Good morning and welcome to the Annisville Sporting Complex. Final day of action here in the Cricket West Indies 2026 Women's T20 Blaze. Fifth place playoff being played between the Windward Islands and Jamaica. News from the toss. Jamaica, they won the toss, elected to bowl first. A decision that we've seen quite a bit in this tournament so far from teams winning the toss. So it will be the chance for the Windward Islands to bat first and put a reasonable total on the board here this morning that they can perhaps defend. Jamaica, on the other hand, will be looking for all wickets. In terms of the teams, Windward Islands captain Zayda James, Janela Glasgow, Afi Fletcher, Onisha Fontaine, Aldit Gaspar, Holly Charles, Karina Noel, Selena Ross, J.D. Tyrell, Abini St. John, and Amaya Gilbert. So pretty much same team throughout the tournament, apart from a few new faces. Tyrell coming in today. And to start proceedings for, Tyrell coming in for second game, actually. And to start proceedings, as usual for the Jamaicans, Vanessa Watts with her off spin from the old airport end. In terms of Jamaica, Rashada Williams, the captain, Lena Scott, Abigail Bryce, Kate Wilmot. This one is punched nicely through the covers. Off the mark is Fontaine at the top of the order once again. And Vanessa Watts, Nisha and Waysome, Shireen Bonnet, John Eldares, Shady Nation, Selena White, and the veteran Stephanie Taylor. So, one without loss, Windward Islands here this morning after being inserted to bat. And joining me to call proceedings here this morning is Mr. Rajiv Roberts. Good morning to you, Mr. Roberts.
Good morning, Osnet. Beautiful day for cricket. Final day of CG United TWI Women's T20 Blaze at Annisville. As then we move on to the Super 50. Really, really lovely day for cricket.
Indeed, so I think that's one thing we can be grateful of, apart from a few instances where we had to go off the rain, mainly in the final games and nights. We've had very good weather throughout the tournament. Good breeze blowing across the ground as well. Just keeping the players cool. We look at out to our right, seeing the flags there of Jamaica and St. Vincent and the Grenadines flying high as the first over is completed. A good one there from Watts. Something that we've come to expect. Windward Islands women, they are won without loss.
So good start here by the Jamaicans. 1 over 1 run. Ball in hand now for the Jamaicans is Stephanie Taylor.
Spin is being employed from both ends, something we've seen quite a bit of in this tournament. I think apart from the Leeward Island team, most of the other team have employed this particular strategy. Leeward Islands, they've stuck to their guns really in terms of their fast bowlers, Claxton and Hector. This one is driven nicely through the covers. Should bring up the first boundary of the day. Quite elegant there through the covers is Fontaine. She picks up her first boundary. First boundary for Windward Islands as well. They're up to 5 without loss.
A very good shot there by Fontaine, as we know what she's capable of doing. So it's important that Windward Islands stick together here and try to have a competitive score. It's something we've been seeing for all tournament. And we are hoping that it could cross the line today.
It sounds as if we've been an action replay really, in terms of our expectations at the start of a lot of these innings. But Fontaine does have the power, Fontaine, and the last shot really epitomizes what I think she needs to do a bit more in terms of going through the cover region. At times she tends to go across the line a bit too much, especially earlier on in her innings. This time again, officially, but straight to the fielder there and it's dropped. Quite a simple catch, it must be said. Nisha and Waysome maybe took it for granted that it was going to be an easy catch in the end, offering a life there for Fontaine, and all happening here all in this contest.
Yeah, in the second over, the first over for Stephanie Taylor, she's not happy, and as I mentioned a few days ago, as picking up wickets in the power play is very important for both teams, and with the start that the Windward Islands get here, 6 runs so far in the second over, as we see Gilbert flashing at one outside the off stump, not connecting. Stephanie Taylor still not happy. That should have been a wicket to Jamaica.
It's not the best of efforts there in the field from Waysome. Experienced campaigner as well. As long as Fontaine stays there, I'm sure her mind will be all over the place, wondering what he had done. As we see Gilbert coming in to strike. Young player coming in for first season at this level. Batted down the order earlier up in the tournament. Last couple of games we've seen. Oh, she's pulling across the line. Gilbert, I was just about to mention that she's a player that plays in the V. Normally takes her time, gets used to conditions, but this time playing across the line to a full-length delivery, really not the best of shots. And she loses a wicket. And Windward Islands, they are now 6 for 1.
As I was about to say that, they probably could have gone and take a look at how the under 19 guys have done well so far in the tournament, winning their second game in the tournament, and that big 114 by the young under 19. We'll get the name in a while, and that's 6-4. That's 6 wicket that pick up by that bowler, that fast bowler. They should have definitely sit down and take a look at that game.
A lot of cricket happening currently. We also saw the West Indies winning yesterday. Consolation victory in that third T20 international versus Afghanistan. The T20 Blaze currently going on. And of course, next week, the start of the 50-over championship. CG United Women's 50-over championship. Something to look forward to. But for now, we're looking forward to the effort here from the Windward Island team batting first. There's James, Captain James. He hasn't set the tournament alight with the bat, James. I'm sure in her mind, somewhere along the line, she'll want to put up a performance indicative of her talent, the fact that she has played cricket at the highest level. Missed out a couple of games as well. I think she had a niggling injury. So a lot hasn't gone her way, Zayda James. Has bowled well, but she's more in the team for her batting, coming in at that crucial number 3 position. As we see Nation taking up proceedings there from the old airport and so spin all the way for Jamaicans so far.
Now this right here will definitely put pressure on who's trying to go hard. And 4 consecutive dot ball right there, Osnet. And when she realized she's not finding the gaps, she frustrating herself.
The last time these two teams met, she got off to a very good start. I think she made 21 from 18 deliveries. I thought she gave it away in the end. But we mentioned she does have the power, but at times doesn't give herself the best chance of succeeding in terms of getting used to conditions, perhaps getting a couple of singles at the start of her innings. Tend to want to go big quite early, Fontaine. Once again, this time going across the line, something that I alluded to earlier. Thankfully for her and the Windward Island team, not able to make any sort of contact that would threaten her wicket. But in the end, a very good over. Made one from Nation as Windward Islands, they're up to 6 for 1. A quite sedate start here at the start of this encounter.
At the start, Windward Islands will be looking for 3 overs, 6 runs, 1 wicket. Jamaica any day will definitely take this in the power play. TK to Wilmot, ball in hand. In that number 9 number on her back.
Well, so far in the tournament, she has delivered number 9 performances in terms of her wicket-taking ability. Does have some pace as well. Surprising that she's coming from this, the Beckway end. Normally, you will see her starting from that old airport end. Something to look forward to. But Rajiv, just a question in terms of the Windward Islands, and we'll come to look at Jamaica as well. But in terms of the Windward Islands throughout this tournament, winless, what would you say are some of the areas that they would have struggled in, something that they can do better moving forward? What's your general assessment of their performance in this tournament, having seen the 5 rounds of fixture so far?
Well, to start with, Windward Islands definitely have a very good team on paper. We saw the Windward Islands tournament. They pulled the best players from that tournament and pulled them to make one team under the name of Windward Islands. They have a lot of top order batters, but I am not sure. Not sure. Probably they have too much weapons and armor there. That's just my take on it. It's just important that the batters stay there, do what they know they can do, bat for yourself, get some runs, and also play for the team.
Agreed. I think one of the challenges for the management team is finding the best combination throughout the tournament. You mentioned the makeup of the squad as well. Perhaps top heavy in terms of top order players. The middle order has been a cause for concern. They've tried different combinations. We saw Chanel Mackey a couple of innings. Didn't really set the tournament alight. They've tried Gilbert, they have Abini, St. John, these players coming in the middle order, but they have not been able to deliver consistent performances. So really have to go back to the drawing boards, the Windward Island team. You mentioned on paper, they look a very good unit, but it's all about execution on the field itself. And we are seeing that so far in the tournament, the likes of Daniela Glasgow stepping up to the plate in terms of leading the batting. She's the leading run scorer in the tournament, having missed the game as well. So she's someone that we can take as a positive. Afi Fletcher always thereabouts in terms of the batting, but they really needed other players to step up to support these players if they were to make it deep into this tournament and finish in the higher echelons.
What I could also say, Hasnet, conversation with each player individually is important for the team, the unit as well. We know they were depending heavily on Janila Glasgow, the Afi Fletcher, Zayda James, who haven't come to the party as yet with the bat. And it was downhill. With the score now at 6-1 in the 4th over, we are still within the power play. It is not a good sign for Windward Island women cricket. But what I could say, the tournament of the Windwards, the 4 teams, which is St. Lucia, Dominica, St. Vincent, and the Grenada, combined to Windward Islands. After that tournament, as they have not get a chance to pull themselves together, get some practice game in, and find your best combination. It's from one tournament into the next. They didn't have enough time. I would basically, from my point of view, they did not have enough time to feel out the players and seal them in that position.
Clear point. I think, as you mentioned, just coming straight from the Windward Island tournament into this tournament, didn't have enough time really to gel as a team. Perhaps a little training camp a week or 2 before this tournament would have proven to be beneficial to the team as a whole, give them a chance to work together. As you mentioned, is a combination of 4 teams coming into one. So they need that time to gel. You see that all the time, players going on little camps to develop camaraderie, work on certain things and certain game situations and those sort of things. So certainly a lot to reflect on for the Windward Island team at the moment. Very good over there from Wilmot. Was a short delivery and a wide signal there by the umpire. So I was just about to mention a very good end to the over for her, but wide. So she'll have to bowl it again. So move up to 7 for 1, 8 for 1 actually. Not the best of starts again, something that we've been seeing consistently throughout the tournament. Teams struggling in terms of the power play. It's worked nicely. Should get a couple of runs on this occasion. Fontaine, if they run hard. Not the best of running, it must be said. But in the end, a single to end the over as Windward Islands continue to struggle at the start of this encounter. After 4 overs, they are 9 for 1. A very good over there from Wilmot.
Very good over from Wilmot. Very good over for Jamaica. 9 runs from 4 overs, 1 wicket. Still within the power play as we see the projected score. Just around 45, but with the likes of Zayda James there and the way that Fontaine trying to get the scoring up, Windward Islands are definitely would need a bit more than 45 to make it a challenging total for Jamaica.
So they want to end the tournament on a high note. They want to just fizzle out in terms of a lackluster performance. And so far, I haven't seen Jenny the Glasgow. I'm thinking she's the leading run scorer in the tournament. At least you'll have her in the top 3. So Gilbert starting proceedings. Young player we mentioned, the start of her career at this level. It's always going to be a struggle dealing with the pressure of that particular situation. In the end, saw a shot out of character really from her. Played quite well in the Windward Islands tournament. Fontaine again continue to soak up these dot deliveries, and I'm sure at some point, is it caught? Well, quite anticlimactic. It must be said. I thought it was just a mere push back to the bowler, but it appears that it's a caught and bowl for Nation, and Fontaine again, disappointing end to what has been quite a disappointing series for her. And Windward Islands, they lose their 2nd wicket. Soft dismissal there, and a 9 for 2.
Well, as I mentioned, not good for Windward Islands, but Jamaica will definitely take that any day. Beautiful ball and caught there by Nation to the back of Fontaine. Zayda James is 1 from 5. And this I think could basically be part of the problem for the Windward Islands. We haven't seen the top 5 being stable. They always have a new batting opening partner, new number 3, number 4, number 5. They're not stable, not a stable unit.
I think that's an issue we discussed at Lens previously in terms of knowing what your best combinations are in terms of your batting and your bowling. I don't think that bowling has been that bad throughout the tournament. Start of the tournament, restricting the Guyanese to under 100, I think 95. Really should have made a better fist of that run chase. I think, and it goes back to that particular point again. If they had gotten over the line in that first game, I think that would have given them a lot of confidence going into the tournament. Next game, I think they were chasing 94, something along the line. So a couple of 90s chasing, and they really messed up those run chases. Never got it together, and everything basically went downhill from there for the Windward Island team, as we see Janila Glasgow, the informed player for Windward Islands, coming in at number 4 today. Played a very good hand the last time these two teams met. Made 47, yes, 48 from 36 deliveries. So I think that was really, as this one is slammed back to the bowler. Appealing there for a run out is Stephanie Taylor from cover region. Nation there just indicating that she had no sort of touch onto that delivery. But 2 runs it is for Glasgow. She's up and running. Score moves up to 11 for 2.
11 for 2 over number 5. Zayda James, Janila Glasgow, the wicket for the Windward Islands. Quick single taken.
Let's look at this partnership Rajik. I think we'll come back to that at the start of the next over. At the end of the fifth over, 1 over remaining in the power play. Windward Island, they are crawling here at the start of this innings. They are 12 for 2. Change of ends for Vanessa Watts. Something that we've seen from Captain Williams in this tournament, not allowing batters to get used to any one bowler. So we saw Watts starting proceedings from that old airport end, bowl the first over. He's now coming in to bowl the final over of the power play, bowling to Janila Glasgow. I was just about to mention, Roberts, that this partnership potentially can be very good for the Windward Island team. I think it's safe to say that these are perhaps the 2 best batters in the unit. Just haven't been able to bat as a partnership so far in the tournament. Both of these players played for the West Indies as well. So it's an opportunity for them once again to showcase the kind of talent and temperament that we know they have. We've seen glimpses of it from Janila Glasgow throughout this tournament. But with 15 overs remaining, it's a chance for them to do so. This one is hit up initially and a brilliant catch from Wilmot. Just as I was saying, it's an opportunity for them to calm proceedings down and build somewhat of a partnership. Flighted delivery outside the off stump, went for the expansive drive through the offside. A bit of turn there for Vanessa Watts, getting the outer portion of the bat, but that was a brilliant catch. Diving forward from Wilmot, quite athletic there, the number 9 once again. Jamaica taking the opportunities all here against the Windward Islands. They are 12 for free.
Very, very good catch there. Catches like this, definitely what I love to see, isn't it? Makes West Indies cricket the team that we know a few years ago. As we see Afi Fletcher walk to the crease, he'll be there with Zayda James, who is on 1 from 5. Windward Islands 12 for 3, are still in the power play.
I must say, every time I see Afi Fletcher walk into the crease, I'm just thinking to myself, she's always under pressure, Afi Fletcher. Whether it's for her Grenadian team in the Windward Island tournament or for this Windward Island team. And we know she has the batting ability, but at times you just feel like it's a burden too much for her. Given the fact that she's primarily in the team as a spinner, we know that her spin bowling exploits at the international level as well. Doesn't bat in the top order for West Indies whenever she plays. Comes in the lower order. And she's always consistently in the middle for the Windward Islands in this tournament in the power play. So it's another opportunity again for us to see her showing her temperament and what she's made of.
Well, happy that you mentioned that, Osnet. But what I'm about to say, Windward Islands have tried everything in this tournament and nothing has gone their way so far. The only thing that they haven't tried is to give Afi Fletcher the license, put her to open, give her a capable opening partner. We saw that 100 that she made against Dominica in the Windward Island tournament, the lone century maker in that tournament. Give her the license. We are still in the power play, 3 wickets down, and Afi at the crease.
Punching nicely, backward of point, diving attempt there from Wilmot once again. Certainly a live wire in the field, Wilmot. Always a good thing when you have your opening bowler diving around like that. But 2 runs for Fletcher. She's up and running. Windward Island still waiting to take off here at the Annesville Sporting Complex in this 5th place playoff between themselves and Jamaica. And they're up to 14 for free. 6 overs completed.
Still looking on, Osnet. Still looking on, asking myself how much can the Windward Islands get to make it a challenging total for the Jamaicans. Windwards have not yet won a game in this tournament. Jamaica on the other hand will want to win this game. At least they can have something to say that they beat one team twice.
I was just about to mention that it's the same opposition that they got the better of previously. Their only victory in this tournament coming against the Windward Island team. Last time around, Windwards, they were able to post 99 for 7. Jamaica chased it down quite comfortably in the end, losing 3 wickets along the way. They'll do very well to get up to 97 from here. Need somewhat of a partnership between these two. As we see Waysome start proceedings from that old airport end, right arm medium fast. Jamaica has used pace quite sparingly so far this morning. Second over of pace. Had 5 overs of spin so far. Working this one neatly is Zayda James. Down to third man for a single. We spoke about the Windward Islands at length, Rajiv. In terms of the Jamaicans, what's your assessment of their performance in the tournament?
Jamaica, over the years, definitely had a good team, but coming to this tournament is one of the teams I was looking for to do well. But unfortunately, like Windwards, they are both bottom of the table, 5th and 6th place. They have a good youth. They have the likes of Stephanie Taylor, they have the likes of Nation there. I think they're actually rebuilding like the Windwarders, rebuilding for the future.
Once again, I think the batting has been the Achilles heel for a lot of these teams in the tournament. Jamaican team is no different. Big miss for them was Chanel Henry though, the absence of Chanel Henry. Certainly somebody who could have led from the front with both the bat and the ball. We saw her in last year's tournament scoring a brilliant century. So certainly a big miss for her, but it also provided the opportunity for other players to step up. Unfortunately for Jamaica, they've not been able to do so consistently. Mention the likes of Nation and Stephanie Taylor, both players scoring runs at times in the tournament. Maybe needed a bit more from them as well. Supporting cast, the likes of Abigail Bryce. These players, they would have gotten off to start. Even the captain herself, I'm sure she would be disappointed with her performances to some extent. Got themselves a bit of starts here and there, but never really went on to make any sort of substantial total. And so far in the tournament, we're seeing that teams that have struggled in terms of their batting, they are more to the lower half of the table, as we see that over from Waysome comes to an end. It's just 2 runs from that over. Windward Islands, they continue to struggle here earlier on in this contest. It's up down to 16 for 3.
16 for 3 it is. Windward Island batting. Zayda James and Fletcher. Just taking this moment just to say happy advance birthday to Shireen Bonnet. Quoting the number 25 is short for the Jamaican.
Going to be a change of bowling. Selena White it is to bowl from her customary end. This is the Beckway end. Right arm medium fast. We're looking to capitalize on the good work that has been done by her predecessors so far. Fletcher driving, but not timing that one to any sort of extent. From a Windward Islands perspective, need to get going here quite quickly. Overs going along at the speed of light, quite contrary to their batting rate, their scoring rate, currently 2.23 runs per over. Certainly not what they would have been expecting at this particular stage. Just got the feeling they need something, just some sort of moment really, a couple of boundaries, maybe a couple of twos into the outfield, just to get some momentum into their innings. I get the feeling they're quite stagnant at the moment, not sure which way to go. Sharp and delivery, and Fletcher looking to pull that one. Not short enough on occasion. But so far has struggled for timing. Fletcher normally free scoring player, the starter for Innings, but even her on this occasion struggling to some extent.
Struggling is both batters at the crease there. Afi Fletcher 3 from 8. Zayda James 2 from 10. So not just the batters are struggling. Windward Islands team has been struggling for the entire tournament.
Single again. Getting inner portion of the bat on that occasion. Trickled out to square leg for a single. Doing it in singles. The Windward Island team, I think they'll need a bit more if they are to post any sort of substantial total. Haven't seen a lot in the wicket by way of turn or anything out of the ordinary, Rajiv. Just a matter of disciplined bowling from the Jamaican team and a lack of intent. Intent driven by the fact that they've not had a consistent tournament, the batters.
Well, there is no demon in the wicket. Batters just need to apply themselves, play every ball on its merit, try to maximize, especially when you are in the power play. And that is something what most teams have not been doing. And we know the Windward Islands have batters who are capable of scoring and scoring big. But really and truly, Asnet, what really went going wrong for that?
Continue to go at a snail-like pace here. Windward Island team, I mentioned the term intent. Intent is something very important. You can have intent without being overly careless or reckless with your wicket. So far, they've just not been able to do so. They haven't been able to get the singles to get a bit of momentum into their innings. And of course, we haven't seen the boundary hitting often enough, especially in the power play from the Windward Island team. So it's a tale of not being able to dominate quite early, allow the initiative to be taken by the opposition. And so far, the Jamaicans, they've really enjoyed their outing. It's like a day on the beach, if you ask me. One is punched. Officially, Stephanie Taylor moves to her left. Still quite agile in the field, Stephanie Taylor. Looks to be a fit woman. It's good to see that her fitness coming back into play. So she would have suffered a couple of injuries recently, which would have derailed her appearances at the West Indies level. Zayda James struggling here really. 2 from 13 deliveries. Couple of attempts outside the off stump so far, quite futile. One is short and pulling it, timing it well, should get into the boundary. A couple of bounces into the fence. So certainly a boundary that will give her the wall of confidence here, Zayda James. She has been struggling quite a bit, but really took advantage of that short delivery.
About to say, Asnet, looking at the score before that boundary, 18-4-3, and we're getting close to the halfway stage of the batting innings for Windward Islands. It's really and truly not looking good.
It's up to 22 for 3. Over number 9. This one is a bit of bounce there on that occasion. Not the tallest of players, Zayda James, but in the end, got it out to that extra cover region for another single. So a boundary followed by a single. I think that's a template that they will need to use for the remainder of this innings. Try and score from every delivery available as much as possible.
Good going here for the Jamaicans. 23-4-3, Windward Islands into over number 9. Waysome into our second over. 8 runs and no wicket. Nothing more the skipper for Jamaica could ask for.
A short delivery, quite wide as well. Fletcher there looking to go over that point region, getting on the edge on that occasion. Thankfully for her, went downwards. Mention a very good day for cricket here at the Annisville Sporting Complex. Crowd again trickling in, as we've seen throughout the tournament so far. It's Friday here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Loud appeal and she's gone. So mixed over there from Waysome. We saw a couple of short deliveries, but on that occasion, getting that one in the corridor of uncertainty, there was Fletcher looking to drive on the up. Maybe a bit of movement away, yes. And in the end, umpire judging that one to have taken the outside edge. So another wicket goes, and the Windwards this thing further into trouble here at the Annesville Sporting Complex. They are now up to 23 for 4.
(23 for 4) Windward Islands. As my co-commentator mentioned before, they are in further trouble with the big hitter of Afi Fletcher gone. Incoming batter is Karina Noel. Will be teaming up there with Zeta James. Captain for Windward Islands, still batting. 7 from 15. And at the end of 9 overs, 23 for 4, we are almost halfway stage. And Windward Islands not looking to get a move on, crawling.
Just to give you an update in terms of the point standings coming into the 6th round of fixture. As we look at a no ball, I believe will be called, but a full toss well played in the end there from Zeta James. Selena White losing her bearings on that occasion, and no ball rightfully signaled by the umpire. So 2 more runs to the total, up to 25 for 4. So free hit it will be for Karina Noel. What to start your innings? In terms of the point standings coming into this round of fixtures, Leeward Islands 43 points, Barbados 32 points. Both of those teams are easily the most consistent teams in the tournament so far. Trinidad and Tobago 23, Guyana 18, Jamaica 17. 2 victories so far in the tournament. Just a correction to something we've spoken about earlier. And Windward Islands, they're winless at the base of the table on 5 points. A free hit it is, and a big swing and a miss from Karina Noel. When it's raining, it's pouring, they say. It rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours. On that occasion, an opportunity there for a free hit for the Windward Island team. And Noel missing it completely. So such has been the stranglehold on the Windward Island batting. They've not even been able to get runs from a free hit or take advantage of a free hit situation. One is walked into the covers for a single. Karina Noel up and running. Another of those players, Rajiv, in terms of experienced player, especially at the regional level for Grenada and the Windward Island team. But somehow her batting hasn't been reflective of her talent so far in the tournament in terms of the score. Well, it's a good looking drive there from Zeta James. And away some comes around and cleans up, limits the batters to a single. Coming in at number 6 today, Karina Noel, sorry. None of those players have been shuffled around the batting order, something that we've spoken of earlier.
Well, apart from Janila Glasgow.
This one is it up actually, but should fall safely. Bit of a spin there as well, an opportunity for a second, which they will accept. So not the best of feeling there on the deep fine leg boundary.
I was making mention, as apart from Janila Glasgow, none of the batters really and truly for the Windward Islands have come to the party. Because if the Windward Islands were to score anything around the region of 100, and you will get at least 40 add to 50 plus from the batter of Glasgow. And the likes of Afi Fletcher, you might get a 20. It's 2 batters out of 11, and majority of the time, all 11 batters bat.
Agreed, but just looking at the tournament as a whole, a lot of the batters really haven't covered themselves in glory. It's been a tournament devoid of any sort of batsmanship at times. You look at some of the dismissals in some of these games, and it's worrying really from a West Indies perspective, looking at this tournament to provide the ammunition really to compete on the international stage. But that's a conversation we'll continue after this break as the players take a short water break, and we'll also do the same here in the commentary box with the Windward Islands having been inserted this morning. They're up to 30 for 4 at the halfway stage. Welcome back to the Annisville Sporting Complex. You're looking at live action in the Cricket West Indies Women's T20 Blaze 2026. Not the best of starts for the Windward Island team. 30 for 4, a quite sedate start. Jamaicans really having a ball at the start of this encounter. Been able to get wickets consistently. And Windward Islands, they've not found any sort of impetus into their innings as we look at Nation to continue proceedings from that old airport end. And talking about impetus, someone who could bring some impetus into an innings, we have Mr. Kenroy Martin. Good morning to you, Kenroy.
Good morning to you, Osned. Good morning to the viewers of this broadcast. Really, not too sure what I could do for the Windwards here, but something needs to be done. Needs to be done quickly. But Jamaica as a whole on this game, they're not letting it go. This is the 4th and 5th place. This tournament, the final day of this T20 tournament, and really, not much to shout about, really, Osned.
Yeah, not a lot happening by way of boundary or scoring opportunities for the batting team. Seen quite a few dot deliveries free to start this encounter. this over, after the drinks break. I think the drinks break would have provided an opportunity for the Windward Islands to meet and assess where they're at and charter some way forward in terms of making that competitive total.
Well, as the tournament progresses, my thoughts are that the Windward Islands have really gotten worse, my opinion, in their style of play and how they have gone about things. They had some good games up front, played some pretty good games, and after that, they never really catch themselves. Always struggling with the 8 ball. Didn't get things in order, really, in my opinion. And in my opinion, they had a pretty good team. From what we saw coming through from the Windies tournament, they had a pretty solid team, but I think the mixture and how the players were used have much to be desired. That's from me.
Kedar, I think you answered the question I was about to ask. I had asked previously our co-commentator Rajiv in terms of his assessment of the Windward Island team, but I think he just came and did it voluntarily. But it's the end of another title over there from Nation, such as being her spell so far, quite miserly. 3 overs, 1 for 4, including a maiden over to start proceedings. And the Windward Islands, they are 31 for 4. Continue to struggle here earlier on, Rajiv.
Yeah. I think that what happened to the Windwards is that they were too tentative. They had Avi Fletcher, they had Glasgow, they have the captain, they have a few batters out of Grenada coming into the team, and they had a pretty solid batting lineup. And they were afraid to actually allow their big players to bat the majority of the overs. And every time they're afraid to do that, they find themselves in trouble, where the big batters have to come up with a different game that they normally would. So unfortunately, that caused them some problems. I think the bowling held its own, basically. But Jamaica, in my opinion, has always kept improving in this tournament. They would be a force to be reckoned with the 50 overs. Winners are pretty much down and confident.
I think it's something we see quite often in terms of cricket is a confidence sport. This one is officially a chance for a catch. And the girl takes a quite comfortable catch in the end. So Sharina Burnett, takes that one quite simple in the end. And Windward Islands, they continue to lose wickets at regular intervals. Karina Noel goes 5 wickets down.
Well, all this tells you exactly how the Windies have played cricket during the tournament. An easy catch, as I said to the birthday girl. She'll accept that gift pretty early. So, congratulations to her. She has got another 365. Miss Burnett. Happy birthday to you. But Windies 31 for 5 tells you the story with them during the tournament.
We spoke about the game being a confidence game, Kenroy, and we can go back to the start of the tournament against Guyana, Windward Islands, chasing a total of 96, if my memory serves me correct.
Yes.
And they were not able to get over the line. To what extent do you think that sort of defeat would have derailed their confidence moving forward? Because we know if they had gotten off to a winning start, things could have gone differently for the Windward Island team. And even the second game as well, chasing another total of below 194, I think. They failed to make any sort of amends for the defeat that went on before. So at the start of the tournament, they had the opportunity there, but I think they lost a bit of confidence too early in the tournament.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Osnet. As Jamaica continues to pile up pressure, that's when it's turned to square leg for a single. Taylor, I think she has a lot to come. 50 overs. We'll have time to bat and so on. I think how cricket has improved as she goes through the tournament. But as you mentioned before, really, I think the win was last year when they didn't get through those 2 games. As you said, the confidence was shattered. They had the games in their hand. Really, they were in control until about the middle period where everything fell apart. Nobody stayed on bat, no partnerships, and all of a sudden it seems as though there was one team playing cricket at the end of the game. And that is where things fell apart for the Windies. Again, this one is struck in the air. Looking to go downtown, really. Bouncing a few times. Fielded by the birthday girl Burnett again. Seems to be rather busy today for her birthday. 33 here for 5 Windwards. Into over number 12. top position to be in, really. But it tells you the story of the tournament as well as that.
I was just about to mention that, Kenora, in terms of the only solace they will take from this is that it hasn't been a situation unique to the Windward Island team alone.
Yeah.
We've seen batting throughout the tournament not living up to expectations. Just that those teams at the top of the order, they have had more consistent performances. But still, I just think from a West Indies standpoint, looking in, there's not a lot to write home about by way of good batting performances throughout this tournament. And it's something that must be looked at and assessed, and the measures put in place to maybe look for an improved performance in the future. But for now, we have the Windward Islands struggling here against Jamaica. 12 overs completed. It's up to 33 for 5.
And what you've just said there, I want to just go back on it. The tournament organizers have put things in place so that the teams could actually bring up the standard of play. You have points for batting, points for going a certain amount of runs in the power play. Nobody really challenged that. You have certain amount of runs, points given for loss of wickets. You have certain amount of points given for scores beyond a particular amount, as this one is punched to covers for another single. That's all they're getting today. Seems not to be able to penetrate that field. And so many different things the organizers have put together so that the teams could play in accordance. And coming into a tournament like this where teams have not shown the potential to do those things, it is worrying. Because when they put these players together, would they be able to do that for the West Indies? It hasn't been done in this tournament. I'm going to say they're going to find it much difficult to do it at a higher level.
Certainly so. And the issue of run scoring in the tournament, just update you in terms of the stats. This one is pulled by St. John, who new to the crease. Another one of those players for the Windward Island team who has struggled to some extent in terms of her batting and getting any sort of momentum into her innings. She spent a lot of time at the crease in some of these innings, but just hasn't been able to walk the ball consistently into the gaps and get her scoring rate up and running. Still rather young, St. John, so I'm sure this will be used as a learning opportunity for her. But what we need from a West Indies standpoint, players who are willing to learn and learn quickly.
A tournament like this where there's so much things to done on the negative, really. We have not seen much positives from it. I'm wondering how much could they learn from it. That's that really. I have to be fair. There are a few things that you could take away from this tournament. A few players' names that you could call. But there's not much to talk about when it comes to positiveness in terms of the cricket. It's good to have them here playing, but you must see some form of improvement. In this tournament have really gone down the drain, basically, as I could say. Need some impetus from somewhere. The organizers have said they are trying, but the players themselves need to be better than that. They're doing.
Another over completed quite quickly. The spinners getting through their overs here, and a brilliant spell must be said from Shadi Nation. Another spell that epitomizes her experience. She's had a couple of good innings with the bat as well, so good all-round performance from Nation. So she'll feel reasonably pleased with her tournament, albeit the Jamaican team struggling at the bottom of the table, really.
Yeah, as I said, this team is getting better, Jamaica. I've seen them play it from the start, and I've seen them improve. They have gotten better during the tournament. Their play has consistent when it comes to their batting and their bowling, and they have gotten better as a team, from my observation. And I see Taylor playing a more pivotal role in the 50 overs. She has shared her experience. But something I've picked up already in the tournament as well is that the question is our players spending too much time to get mature for the game? Because you've seen the mature players, senior players, doing their best. Junior players are not coming.
Very good observation, Kenroy. I think it's a challenge we have both with the men and women cricket teams in the region. That's the opportunity for them to excel and excel quickly. See a lot of players maturing in their 30s and that sort of thing. Just going back to this Jamaican team though, I know recently they would have suffered at the hands of Hurricane Beryl.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure to what extent that would have derailed their preparations. I'm not sure if they were able to prepare in the way that they wanted to. So maybe that explains the fact that they had a slow start in the tournament. But as things went by and they were able to get into the groove, as they say, get used to conditions, we are seeing improved performances at the back end of the tournament.
Yeah, that could be a factor as well. But to be fair, they played in the tournament last year. And I think they had similar
Well, they reached the finals last year.
yeah, they
against the
played
Guyanese team.
right. They played some better cricket in my opinion. We had similar performances from them. They're always consistent, and they're a hard team to beat when you're on top. So I think that the point that you made with the Hurricane and whatever went on could have really caused them some problems in this tournament as well.
This one is hit. Officially a soft dismissal once again. Straight to the fielder there at point, who says thank you very much. Windward Islands donating gifts here to the Jamaican team. It's up to 37 for the loss of 6.
Well, it's Burnett's birthday. They're giving out gifts pretty early, and the Jamaicans are accepting. Christmas have just gone, so we are still accepting gifts, the Jamaican says. So another wicket goes very easily. Simple catch. Normal delivery on the off stump. Stroking it to the person up mid-off, cover. He took a pretty easy catch. And Windows are fall even more into trouble here at Annisville. Easy catch, simple. Easy like Sunday morning. I don't know how Sunday comes to you. But it's 37 for 6.
Fielder there being Vanessa Watts. As you mentioned, quite simple catch. I think even at my age, I could take that quite easily with my eyes closed. Such as being the easy nature
Hand
of
tied behind your back as well.
of these dismissals. But also to add to the point you were speaking on earlier in terms of Jamaica, I think Chanel Henry would have been a big miss for them as well.
Indeed.
Certainly a star player.
She is. She's a bright spark. She's always into the game. Always brings some kind of action, some kind of difference to the game, Chanel. One of those players that you could say an impact player
Indeed
when
so.
it comes to the cricket.
Currently playing her trade in the women's IPL.
Yeah.
It's certainly a miss out for not only the Jamaican team but the spectators here as well. I'm sure they would appreciate the type of cricket that she plays.
And she has a bigger audience. To fulfill their needs there, Chanel Henry. I've not seen a performance thus far that IPL tournament, but there's some good cricket being played by this lady at that level.
Not to compare, Kenner, it's really no comparison really in terms of the standard of cricket we're seeing in that men IPL. Maybe it's something that players at this level can aspire to partake in at some point in the future. But just the standard of cricket in terms of the scores, the techniques of some of the players, the awareness, the temperament, and of course the talent on show. It's really something that can be used as a benchmark for our regional tournament. But we're nowhere close to that particular stage. It would take significant investment in terms of infrastructure and of course other aspects of cricketing intelligence to get to that level. But I'm hoping that at some point in time we might be able to boast that we are somewhere close to that particular level, Kenner.
Continue that discussion as it goes down the ground. 1-2 bounces, pick up another single. Windwards keep getting the singles as Jamaica continue to dominate this game. 39 for 6. As you were mentioning before, I think is one word that really covers all of that. The professionalism is exhibited on the field, off the field, during play, after play. The whole organization, the way all things are being done at that level brings a lot to the game. And a good delivery being played down to me down there. Officially but safe. I could remember the Stanford T20 tournament. The first involvement, the first year of that introduction into West Indies cricket brought about some changes to West Indies cricket and the players. because you were playing at a different level where professionalism is expected. The mediocrity was never part of that. But those sort of things brings about a lot of changes to individuals, and that's the kind of system that I would love to see implemented in the West Indies. I think the organizers, the board and so on are trying to do that. But the players themselves have to have that mindset to do the things which are required of them. Not just a game you're playing, but it's something that you could use for life. You have to look at it as that, an employer for employee. This one is played defensively again. 39 for 6. So speaking here, there's not much going on with the cricket, as you can see. Keep yourself occupied. My co-commentator is laughing. It is the truth. The truth. 39 for 6. Windwards. But I really did disastrous tournament, as this one is driven down to mid-off by James. He has potential, but she needs to do a little bit better with the bat. Either James out of St. Lucia. The Taylor continues to bowl well. She has switched ends here. 2.2 overs, 8. She has 2 wickets in the bag already. Make a proud country there. The athletes. They'll be very serious about their cricket. 50 overs tournament to come up, starting on Tuesday. Different kettle of fish, hopefully. Again, another dot delivery. That maneuvering, being able to come on the front foot, turn the ball to mid-wicket. Just have this tendency, just want the ball to be in our half, to hit it over the top, or in our zone. That's what I'm talking about. Force it, hit the edge. You have to be more creative than that. More aware. These players, I don't think they are very much aware of what goes on at times and the situation which they are in and how to play. And that comes about with how much cricket you have played. A good delivery again, beaten outside the off stump into the keeper's glove. That brings you over to an end. After 15 overs, it's 40 for 6.
Well, the Windward continue to move along at a snail-like pace. Quite pedestrian in terms of their approach so far. Quite sedate. They haven't been able to get any sort of momentum into their innings. And so far struggling for any sort of momentum. 40 for 6. Be interesting to see what their final score would be here batting first in this encounter.
Well, the captain Jada James is there. She has 14 from 25. And he has another 30 deliveries to get to at least 70. But his Windward is outside the off stump, cutting it behind point. Won't get the legs to get to the fence. She picks up 2 more runs as Rajiv Roberts slides into the seat on the far left. Probably hoping to have a few down in the later have bowl some depth bowling. And welcome back, Rajiv.
Yeah, happy to be back, Martin. 42 for 6 in the 16th over. 4 points, 5 overs remaining.
This one is smacked. One of the better shots we have seen in the tournament really was pitching her half, Zeta James, and she smacked it over mid-wicket. It went a pretty long way. 6 runs to her. Very confident shot, that is.
Yeah, that's good for Zeta. Zeta has been there for a while, and she definitely needs to bat all 20 overs here. So we can see some respectable score to the Windward Islands women. Now on 48 for 6. Zeta James 22 from 27. Tyrell 1 from 7. Wilmot into a third over, 13 for 1.
Yeah, splendid shot that was. Didn't move. Didn't need to move really. The middle of the bat. Good comeback there by Wilmot. Some smart cricket by James as well. Just taking the pace off of it and just campering another single. Take the score up to 49 for 6.
What is important here that Zayda James and Tyrell Batten have a conversation with her, get the quick single as she just did on that occasion. So have a conversation with your partner, get her back on strike, Martin, and avoid soaking up any dot deliveries.
This one is beating outside here or something to the keeper's glove. I love the line and the length that she's bowling. Not going too far up. Made that mistake with Zayda James and traveled the distance. Really? So she has pulled the lead back somewhat. And she's bowling between 4th and 5th stump. So that brings the mid off, cover, the backward point into play, and also the wicket keeper. Good bowling here by Wilmot. Again, she's right at the stumps. That brings a single. Tyrell. How much about it?
What I know about her, she's wearing a good number on her shirt.
I think there's a number refers to somebody, boy. Not too sure. Again, as I said, she's bowling some good line and lengths. When she goes up, because Yorker length. She pulls it back, it's on a hard length. So good bowling here by Wilmot. She finishes her 3rd over, 16. She has 1 wicket, and Windward Islands have been sorted. They are 51 for 6 against Jamaica here in the first game in the final day of this T20 tournament held at Arnesville playing field.
Very good over there for the Windward Islands. It's just gone past 50, 51 for 6. Need a bit more. We could have a competitive game here between the Windward Islands and Jamaica as we see Vanessa Watts continue.
Are you sure this is not enough runs for Jamaica to be competitive based on what has happened so far?
Well, both teams are now playing for 5th place. The final game of the tournament for both teams, and Jamaica will definitely want to put up their hand to say, I beat one team twice in the tournament.
Straight to on mid-wicket. Zayda James goes, just giving her some praise. And really, a simple catch again, straight to the field at mid-wicket there, mid-on, between mid-wicket and mid-on. Simple catch. Windows lose another wicket. 51 for 7.
Yes, I was saying earlier that 51 for 7 here now. And you mentioned that it might be enough for the Jamaicans, but with the likes of Stephanie Taylor there, they will definitely have a different plan.
Well, indeed, I've seen the Jamaican team improve during this tournament. And I think this is one of the better games they're having with ball. They have not really come together in batting yet. I've not seen that from them. Taylor has some good knocks. But just like how James got out at 20 odd, a lot of the players are getting starts and not carrying on, having that issue in the tournament. So that is one of the things you have to look at as well, where players get 24, 25, 30 and still not carrying their bat to the end. Like in a situation like this, Zayda James should have been saying, I need to bat all the overs, get down to the last 2 or 3, and I could have a go. Fortunately, she goes for 26 it was, and her new bat has come to the crease. Holly Charles, 51 for 7, 16.2 overs. Jamaicans are happy. Watts have done well so far. Cuts this one backward point. Holly gets off the mark immediately. The sun pushes through the dark clouds. You have a few dark clouds around. Grey clouds there. Some showers early in the day, morning, last night. Not to give my co-commentator had any, I heard any of those showers.
No, I did not. I did not. I did not.
Wee hours of the morning. Telling you everybody's basically out. Soldiers are out.
Well, unfortunately, no, Martin, on mornings I don't know when the sun is up either.
Wow. Tinted windows.
Yeah.
52-7 here. We into over number 17. Watts into a final delivery in our third over. On his pull to mid-wicket to Taylor, who does the fielding. That's another dot delivery. 17 overs completed, 52 for 7. Here, Watts have 3 for 4. And she picked up 2 wickets. So the spinners doing the work for Jamaica here this morning. And a really good game for them. I've seen them with the ball, but this is really exceptional that they're doing here today. Really good bowling by them. Haven't seen much extras. That's one of the things I've seen them improve as well during the tournament. So that's good. Something good to carry into the 50 overs. Played some good games. Had some games in their hands and then all of a sudden it fell away in the middle. Like all other teams in this tournament. And all of the teams have similar faults, really. Similar situations occurring. And everything just falls away after the fall of 2 or 3 wickets. Taylor is marshalling the troops this morning. See a difference in the approach as well. There's 2 persons in the countryside, as we normally say. Deep square leg, deep mid wickets, and another one at long on. Yes, comes on. First delivery, full outside the off stump, goes into the keeper's glove, a dot delivery again. But they rest to be bowling these final set of overs. Reese, in those toes for the stumps. One is a wayward delivery down the leg. Well, good work by the keeper. Wide signal by the umpire.
Well, I was applauding Jamaica for the efforts in the field so far. Here's into her first over. With the score on 53 for 7. Jamaicans need 3 more wickets to wrap up the innings of Windward Islands. Beautiful delivery there by Diaz.
They're hitting that hard length, and Charles looking to play it on the up. Had a bit more pace than she thought he had, and really crashed into the bat very hard. She just smacked it into the pitch, bounce to Taylor. Cover point, who does the fielding. Seen a run, comfortable stop. Dead ball signal by the umpire. 52 for 7. Into over number 18.
Just a reminder to our viewers, our second game at 2:30. 3rd and 4th place, a playoff between Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana. And at 7 p.m. tonight, it's the top of the table finals. Barbados will be taking on the Leeward Islands. One of the better teams, Martin, will be on show tonight.
The team on show today, the 2 teams who have played exceptionally well in the tournament, Leeward Islands and the Barbados. Pretty much impressed with them. They came under some pressure at times, but they really held themselves together and came through, especially the Leeward Islands. Played very solid cricket from the start up until now. Today's the day. They're looking for that crown. Missed out on it last year. Probably saying this time we're not missing out on it. Windward here struggling on 54 for 7. This one is hit. Higher portion of the bat looking to go across the line. There. Should should have been punching it down the ground, really. Too close to be pulling. The match so far, we have 2 4s and 1 6. This one is in the air. Good shot over covers. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't have the legs to go to the fence. We have picked up 2 more runs. That was a pretty good shot there by Tyrrell.
Yeah, good shot by Tyrrell. 4 from 14. Holly Charles, 2 from 4. Windward Islands definitely need to get a move on. 56 for 7. Nah, the 18th over. 2 more overs remaining. An appeal, not out, says the umpire. End of the over. 56 for 7.
Yeah, and a stifled appeal. From my vantage point, seems to be high and going on the leg as well. Player playing a pull. Snit wrapping on the pads. Midsection error. Tyrrell, she's 4 from 4. And Charles is 2 from 4. Projected score is 62. Probably the lowest score of the tournament. Correctly.
I do think Windward Islands will get a bit more than that 62 mark with the likes of Holly Charles still, and 2 overs remaining. As we say in cricket, nothing to prove now, and to get some name under your belt, some runs under your belt, Kirchan.
Well, it's left to be seen. Holly Charles, known for being hitting. Strike off the ball. So it would be Watts with bowling off final over. He has 2 for 4. Holly is playing and hitting it on the lower portion of the bat. The keeper takes another catch. Watts has picked up wicket number 3. Jamaica, wicket number 8. Windward's 56 for 8. Still looking at 62.
Well, I made mention earlier on 58. I'm not sure if they will get 58, but I do want to believe they might get around 60, Martin. And the partnership of only 5 runs between Tyrrell and Holly Charles has come to an end. Watts picking up her 3rd in the 4th over.
Yeah, what a situation to be in here. Windward's 56 for 8. Really tells you the story of the Windward Islands team during this tournament. They started pretty well. Had 2 good opening games, had those games in their hands to win, and faltered to the end. And from those 2 games, they have never really picked themselves up and played the cricket that we expected of them here at home. And they're saying if you can't dance a yard, you can't dance abroad. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, well, you're playing for the Windward Islands. You're playing in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As you rightly said, if you can't dance a yard, you can't dance abroad. With the likes of Selena Ross, new to the wicket, she's teaming up with Tyrrell, who is on 4 from 15. Watts looking to pick up her 4th wicket.
It's forward, the approved manner. As Watts does the feeling. Again, she's bowling like a string on a ball on a string. It goes to the fielders, back to her. He's done well, 3 for 4. One of the best figures you have seen for the tournament. This one is going down leg. Umpire signals it as well as a wide. Ross having some inner movements, looking to score. Important as well. Getting bat and ball. Again. Another dot delivery.
What should have been an easy single, Martin, has turned down by Selena Ross, who is on none from 3 deliveries. The projected score is 61. I think Windward are trying not to get ball out here, Martin.
Well, she has used 2 singles so far. Not playing an aggressive shot, she's playing defensive. Really.
Yeah, I
not
agree.
too sure.
I agree with the batter there because she tried to have a conversation, and I like the batter just giving her a thumbs up. Like, you refusing 2 singles, what are you going to come to tell me now?
Agreement in the middle. Another dot delivery. Brings the over to an end. Vanessa Watts. 4 overs. Completes that. She picks up 3 for 5 to pick up the bowlers for today. Ross is not out. Doc and Tyrrell is on 4 from 15. After deliveries to be batting. Into final over. 19 overs completed. Skipper Taylor will be bowling that over. Keeping this time. All kind of things happening on the ground. It was swept to her. Straight back to the keeper. Missing the keeper completely. The one was backing up and gave away an easy thing. These are the things that we wonder why these things are happening. They just normally happening out of the blue, just like that. He uses the ball straight to the keeper, misses the keeper completely. No one backing up. Just the way it's That's the way it is.
Stephanie Taylor into her final over. 9 for 2.
He's down to mid-off for another single. And it's all that has been given away here from the Jamaicans. In a pushing of the back. She's looking for 2. Possible.
Love the approach of Tyrrell in the final over. He's swinging at everything, Martin.
Needs to connect though. In the middle. Ooh, she's scampering looking for a single. That's another dot delivery. 16. 8.
And while I mentioned Tyrrell is swinging at everything, Selena Ross. 1 from 7. Big single taken.
Jamaica. Best fielding team we have seen in the tournament. Ball was struck straight to the fielder. And they took off and took a single from 61 for 8. And we have the final delivery being bowled here by Taylor. He has 2 for 12. This one is struck sweetly. Cover, they're looking for 2. Would there be a run out? A good chill would do it. There's a loud appeal. The finger goes up. She's run out on the final delivery. And after 20 overs been bowled, Windward Islands are 62 for 9. They have completed their tally of overs. So Jamaica would be happy with that, I'm sure. But Windward will be very much disappointed with the efforts as we see the last wicket being run out. The last delivery, way outside. Nowhere in the screen really. So another good decision by the umpire as the players leave the field. Greece been marked again. We'll be back in the next 10 minutes or so to bring in the second half of this game between Windward Islands and Jamaica in this 4th and 5th place playoff. And then we'll, as you see the highlights, it started there with a beautiful drive through covers, rushed into the fence. Then she went across the line and was bowled by Taylor very early. And then this was a easy catch taken by Taylor again. This one was hit in the air, caught at backward point. The Windwards lost pretty all the wickets. Then this was pulled into the bungle for 4. Driven, miss, hit the outer edge into the keeper's glove. Another wicket there. Jamaica doing well. This one was hit in the air. Easy catch for the boy, the girl, who took a very easy catch. And things keep tumbling. Again, this one was an easy catch again to cover. Simple decisions. This one again was hit with some power by James over mid-wicket. One of the better shots for the day for 6. Tried to go again, finding that field at mid-wicket. And she was out caught easily straight at that fielder. There goes try to cut that one backward point, hitting the bat into the keeper's glove. Another wicket falls. Windwards continue to struggle. Final delivery, driven up to covers. Looking for 2, was never there. Run out, and that tells you the story of the Windward Islands innings. He'll be back here to bring you the second half. Welcome back to Arnisville playing field, where we have the second half of this first game in a 3-game encounter today at Arnisville. The final day of this West Indies Women T20 Blast here at Arnisville playing field. The Jamaica did well with the ball. 20 overs. Windward's getting 62. They now have to get 63 to win this game, to get at least 5th place in this tournament. Windward's didn't do well with the bat again today and struggled to get runs on the board. So the ball in hand is Ross for Windward's, and the two batters at the crease are Williams and Nation. Familiar faces that we have seen during this tournament. And with me in the commentator's booth here is Osnet Kato, as we started a wayward delivery from Ross down the leg side for wide.
Good morning to you, Kenroy. Good morning to all of our viewers. So far, not the best of showing from the Windward Island team. They'll be hoping that they can make this total as difficult as possible for the Jamaicans.
How difficult can that be? To get 63 at tournament. It becomes difficult to tell you the story of the tournament, which is true. As that one hits the glove, runs down to the boundary. I think no signal from the umpire, so I'm right. Hit the glove. The 3 runs so far. Some inconsistent bowling here from Ross so far.
Yeah, not the best of starts from Ross, and she has actually struggled throughout the tournament, Selena Ross, in terms of her direction. We know that whenever she's on song, she's able to get the ball in line, coming back into the right-handers. But so far, I think her seam position at times is a problem, also just falling away to her right. So it basically means that a lot of her deliveries ending up being on the leg side.
Again, as you spoke about it, and that left arm is not really going above the head and not seeing that alignment that you need to see from Ross. Sort of pulling across the body. It's another wide. The Jamaican camp pretty much calm and cool and collective most of the time. Jamaicans, cool people to deal with. You can see how it's nice, you know. Here we have similar accents. Jamaican and Vincentians. Wow, this one is a wayward delivery again. Does it have the legs to get to the fence? It does. 4 runs, hitting the 4 wides, that is. Hitting the boundary balls. What a start for Windward.
Not the best of starts when you're defending 62 runs on the board. Basically gifting runs to the opposition. We spoke about the fact that their bowling, in contrast to their batting, has been a bit more consistent. But so far, the only consistency we've seen in this over is those deliveries angling down the leg side from Selena Ross. Losing our bearings somewhat. Not the best of starts for the Windward Island team.
And everything seems to be off balance for the Windwards here. Everything seems to be going on the other side. So the needle needs to change direction. Probably the wind blowing across needs to circle back. Something has to be done. But she's changed direction. Oh my word. That's a no ball, a full delivery. Would you complete this over today?
Continues to be a disappointing start for the Windward Island team. Ross, pretty low on confidence. I'm thinking coming into this tournament, although she didn't have the best of Windward Island tournament as well, Kenroy, if you can recall correctly. We saw similar spells where at times she did spray the ball around, but she was picked for this tournament and so far hasn't been able to cover herself in glory. Just needs to get her basics right. I'm not sure if she's just putting a bit too much pressure on herself. But it's been a difficult over for even the batter to face.
Not knowing what is coming. Indeed, it is difficult. This one is short and pulled. This will go into the fence. Long hop really. And she dealt with it accordingly. Williams, no problem with doing so. 4 runs.
But if there was a delivery you would like as a free hit, is this sort of delivery. Short, angling down the leg side, just opening up the entire leg side region. We have a feeder there, deep square leg, in the form of Janila Glasgow. She's quite quick across the ground, but had no chance on that occasion. Such was the timing and placement there from Captain Rashada Williams.
She goes back to over the wicket. The ball is 14 without loss. 2 deliveries ball. Again down the leg side.
I was thinking to myself, Kenroy, in terms of the fact that she's spraying the ball down the leg side, so coming around the wicket would actually not help too much in terms of that angling down the leg side. A better option is bowling over the wicket, but even from this angle, she still seemed to be dragging those deliveries short and, of course, wide down the leg side.
Again down the leg side. 16 without loss. 2 deliveries bowled in this over. Jamaica need another 47 runs. They started out needing 63. 2 deliveries.
Well, you mentioned earlier while they were bowling Jamaica, they were given some gifts. The gifts seem to continue into their batting effort. We mentioned the fact that Shireen Bonnet's birthday, so I'm not sure if that was considered, because we're seeing a set of gifts being given here to the Jamaicans by way of wides and no balls. So far, 8 deliveries in this over, only 2 of them being legal deliveries.
There she goes again. This one again. The full toss. Umpire puts out the hand at square leg. It's a no ball. She has to bowl another delivery. She still haven't bowled 3 deliveries overs yet. 9 deliveries bowled over.
Continues to struggle here, Selena Ross. Captain James, her fellow countrywoman as well, has positioned herself there at mid-off, just offering some words of advice. I'm not sure.
Broken down, really. She's broken down emotionally. Just don't know what to do, as you could see that. So disappointed with herself. Her teammates has gathered around her. Really, we could understand that. Not having a good tournament and coming here to start things, proceeding 17 already. They haven't bowled 3 deliveries. It's emotional. Have to keep those things intact.
Certainly not what you want to see on the cricket field. From a neutral perspective, player breaking down emotionally as a result of such a difficult start to the over. We mentioned the fact that so far we've seen 9 deliveries being bowled, 2 of those being legitimate deliveries. A small break in proceedings as the Windward Islands try and get themselves together, and no more so than Selena Ross.
Yeah, I was going to ask us before that happened, when could you pull this bowler out? But it's a difficult thing to do as well. That alone will stamp on her confidence as well. But hopefully she gets things together. She gets some words of encouragement. Tears will dry up when she pulls herself together and decide to get things done for the Windwards here. But 17 without loss. She has the ball in her hands. So hopefully she comes through this. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Something we spoke about all in terms of confidence. Cricket being a confidence sport. Just lacking confidence at the moment, Selena Ross. Hopefully we'll see some form of improvement in the remaining 4 deliveries.
There she goes. Shot and pulled. She got it right this time. Your shot pulled to mid-wicket for another single. 18 without loss.
An improvement in terms of the direction, but still a short delivery. Allow the opportunity there for Williams to free her arms. We've seen so far that she's able to penetrate that onside field quite easily. But on this occasion, Glasgow doing some good work in the outfield, limiting the batters to a single.
Wow, that's a horrible delivery. I don't think she could bowl again. Full toss above the waist. She's not allowed to bowl again. Bowl again?
I'm not sure if she was given a warning initially.
The first one. She shouldn't be bowling again. Another ball.
Because even now, I'm not seeing any sort of warning from the umpire.
Not too sure.
Or maybe it's a case where we realize the full toss is not really threatening directly the batter. Those are way over the batter's head.
This one's a wide delivery down the leg. Wow, what a day. Rost. We hit signal. Never seen this in cricket before. Be honest. Never seen an over like this before in cricket.
Certainly not at the top of the innings, the start of the innings. Normally your opening bowlers are normally your best bowlers, and
oh, well, this is disaster. And they've run. I think something needs to be done.
still not able to get it right, Selena Ross. Those of you just joining us, no, it's not an error on the part of the scorer, just that it's been over-littered with wide deliveries and also no balls. So what you're seeing on your screen is quite correct. 0.3 overs, 22 without loss.
Another day for cricket. Imagine the emotions there. Not getting it right, want to do your best. Things just not working out in the way that it's supposed to.
So it's a very tricky situation, Kenro, in terms of as a captain. You might want to take out of the spotlight to some extent, but you're not even sure to what extent that will also further damage her confidence. On the flip side, you don't want her to continue in this vein because clearly she's struggling in terms of direction, and continuing might even further dent whatever confidence she has at the moment.
She doesn't want to give up the ball though. I can see that from her actions, from where she wants to complete the job that was given to her early. But I think in the rule, if you bowl 2 full tosses above the waist, you're not allowed to bowl again. Not too sure if that applies to this level, but from under 15, under 19s, those are things which are implemented in one game. So I'm not too sure why she's still bowling. She has bowled 3 full tosses above the head. That is called dangerous bowling. As you said, they're probably not threatening the batter, but not too sure. Somebody probably could highlight me or enlighten me in respect of those rules when it comes to those deliveries. She has the ball in her hands. Again, it's another full toss. Above the waist, really. Has pushed the hand out. Another no ball. What would be done here? 24. 3 deliveries bowled. 3 hit. Offer up again. Oh.
This one is full again and pulled in front of square into the fence for 4. And another no ball again served up by Selena Ross. Certainly not a good day for the young lady from St. Lucia. Nation though taking full advantage of that full delivery. Glasgow there at deep square leg had no chance as that one was timed to perfection. 1 bounce into the fence for 4 more. Score moves on to 29 without loss. Needing a further 34 runs from the best part of 19 overs or so.
That is not considered danger, does not require taking off immediately. However, it is still,
as I said, a couple of those deliveries were beyond the reach of the batter in terms of height. We've also seen a couple of those deliveries around head height also. Last boundary being evidence of that, where Nation was able to pull that one in front of square for boundary. But if you look at that last delivery again, it's a no ball, as rightfully signaled by the umpire, but I don't think it's in any way threatening the batter directly. But something certainly needs to be done at this stage.
32. I saw the word Beamer. Definition there. Still, what could be done? Really, it's an emotional time for her. I think that they should actually ask her to be somebody substitute for her and let somebody complete it over. Really, at 32, still 3 deliveries remaining. Something needs to be done here.
It's another break in cricket. I know Kenroy from not this particular level, but you know, even at the local level, you play with the softball cricket and that sort of thing, and a bowler struggling to this extent. The captain normally asks him to tell the umpire that something is wrong with his hand or
Exactly.
something.
I'm having a little side strain. The wrist is hurting. You could do that. You could do that and save the embarrassment, really, to be honest. Seems as though she doesn't want to give up the ball. That would have been done already. Sure.
Well, the physio is on the field. I'm not sure if there's a physical injury.
She would have to have
Oh,
one now.
It's all part of the effort here to improve the mentality to some extent. A short break in proceedings once again, as we look at the Jamaicans up to 32 without loss, without even breaking a sweat.
The batting 5 overs. Over have not been completed. Never wicket at this level. Something needs to be done. I think the physio, somebody needs to leave the field or somebody completes the over. Really, he should go with the physio. Really, I think she could. Management of the team should step in here. To be honest, and she's still on the field. Still willing to complete those 3 balls. Players are still huddled around the game. Need to go on. Need to go. Time restricted as well. The viewers who have just joined us, going to the first over. Jamaica bowled first. Windward's getting 62 on their 20 overs. Into the first over, the first in the second innings is 32. Again, this is short and it's pulled to backward square. Into the fence for 4. Another short delivery by Ross. The 36 coming from this over thus far.
I think the only shining light there from this delivery is the fact that it was directed a bit closer to the batter. But the result is 4 more runs to Jamaica. Continues to pile on the runs at the start of the innings here. Still in the first over. 36 without loss. Williams especially taking advantage of a few loose deliveries. And there have certainly been a lot of loose deliveries solved up at the start of this reply.
Better delivery. Punch out to cover. 2 feet, 2 batters in the middle of the crease. Really, they picked up another single. That is pretty good to see her come back here mentally. It would be good for her. But the thought of this, you could feel is sad. The extent. Get somebody around. 37, final delivery. Ooh. Another full toss. Goes over the head. She's determined to finish this over, which is good. Right?
Maybe some sweaty palms. I'm trying to look at possible reasons for this sort of performance or start of the innings. A bit of sweaty palms there. I'm seeing her holding the ball cross seam on this occasion. So should improve her direction. Indeed, it does.
Short and smacked for 6. That brings you over to an end. At the end of the first over of this encounter, Windwards versus Jamaica, it is 44 without loss.
This is not something you will see every day in terms of a start to an innings. But such as being the inconsistency in this over from Selena Ross, we've seen wides, we've seen multiple no balls and free hits. And in the Jamaican team, they have taken full advantage of what is being served up to them at this moment in time. And total 44 without loss. Electrifying start at the start of this response.
Well, a total breakdown there by Ross. Oh, several full tosses, wide deliveries. Just couldn't get it right. Mentally, she decided that she has to complete this over. She's still on the field. But Jamaica didn't mind that at all. Took advantage of those short deliveries. And Williams is on 13. Nation is on 10 from 4, 13 from 9. And that tells you the story there. 14 deliveries.
Somewhere in that region, lost count. Somewhere along the line.
Zeta James picks up the attack. Good delivery outside the off something start here. The second over. Jamaica 44 without loss.
James bringing a bit of sanity to proceedings.
Normalcy comes back to the game. This one is smacked over cover. Into the fence for 4. Lovely shot there by Williams.
Jamaica continues to dominate at the start of this reply. Being offered a bit of whiff outside the off stump there, and Williams just freeing her arms, timing it well over the top. Still in the power play to the second over, and a good way to start the over for Jamaica, just to follow up what they would have done previously.
James come back with that good delivery, just pitching on the off stump, holding its own. Sort of sticking in the pit somewhat. She will bait it on the back foot and punch it nicely. Covers. Seems like a good batting track here. Ooh, lovely. Another good delivery. Flat, fast. Outside the off stump back to the keeper's glove.
I think throughout the tournament she's been able to extract a bit of tone. Zeta James does give the ball reasonable revs. He's bowled quite a few good spells, but a bit sloppy there from the Windward Island team. Glasgow coming around to her right, just ricocheting. A bit of a misfield past Holly Charles, offering the opportunity again for a single. Accepted gleefully from the Jamaican team. They've been accepting a lot of things all day.
It's her birthday. One of the players' birthdays. They have been given gifts all day. Happy time for Jamaica. Excited. James, that brings you over to an end. After 2 overs is 49. No, it wasn't so Garfield who was batting.
A bit of normalcy brought to proceedings there from Zeta James. Mentioned that she has been quite consistent with the ball throughout the tournament. Whenever I've seen her, she's someone you think can do a job for. Well, she's the captain in this case. So, does bowl a good line and length, get a bit of tone as well. That over, just 5 runs conceded. Jamaica, they're way ahead of the game at this point in time, requiring less than 1 run per over to claim the 5th place here in the Cricket West Indies Women's T20 Blaze, as we see Afi Fletcher coming into the attack in over number 3.
Yeah, the big bowler, 14 runs to defend. No doubt you're going to bring that bowler into your attack. Fletcher comes in. Shot, pulled in mid wicket. There's some protection there. I thought the captain glass. Oh, sorry. Vice Captain Glasgow, who does the feeling. She's patrolling the bunker today. James is back into this.
I think the Windward Islands will look back at this game and say that they just haven't shown up to the party. It's like their batting never got on the way in terms of any sort of momentum. Maybe they're still back at their hotel. Their bowling, on the other hand, is going along a similar path. So just hasn't turned up at all any of these players today in this first contest of the finals day.
Well, I don't think the winner has got an invitation. Oh, the way they are playing this cricket, I don't think they got an invitation to be here. So it's kind of surprise package brought to the tournament. Hard to be speaking about a team like this, but with a good balance that they have. I'm not too sure what went wrong with this Windward's team, but everything just fell apart. They are still in a tournament to play starting on Tuesday, so they will have to pull themselves together quickly. This one is pulled over mid-wicket into the fence. One bounce for 4. Good shot there by Nation.
Well, the boundaries we've seen so far has been in that particular direction, just behind square on the onside. So it tells me the length that the bowlers have been bowling to both of these players. Nation quite powerful in that region. We saw 6 previously. Once again, this one bounce into the fence. No chance there for Holly Charles on that deep square leg boundary. Only a matter of time now for the Jamaican team.
This one is swept beautifully. One bounce into the fence for 4. Fletcher been taken to the cleaners.
I talk about precision and gap finding. That is evidence of that on that occasion. The previous delivery was hit in front of square to the left of Holly Charles. Had no chance on that occasion. This time around, a bit fuller from Fletcher, but on the line of the leg stump. And that sweep shot coming into play behind square this time. Charles having to run to her right. So quite a bit of work Charles been assigned to do so far, hasn't been able to do it successfully.
Comes back as you normally know. Good cricketer, you look for that delivery that could bring back some sanity to the game. To yourself, it's 58 without loss. 3 overs completed. Jamaica needs another 5 runs.
Well, you spoke about the fact that there's the opportunity in this tournament to gain batting points, bonus points in terms of the power play. I think it's 42 runs after 6 overs. Well, they're way beyond that at this stage. Just 3 overs completed as well. So an electric start here for the Jamaican team. Quite the opposite to what we saw from the Windward Islands, who were quite sedate at the start of their innings and lost wickets as well.
One shot, punches back and punch. Williams. Really good shot. Clumsy feeling there by the field at cover. Gives you another single. 59. Could have seen this in a couple other games. Would have been a real interesting tournament. But this is compliments of really wayward bowling.
Not the best of feeling on that occasion from Holly Charles. All facets of their game, Windward Islands just not coming together in a way that is effective. The bowlers have struggled for any sort of consistency, and the efforts in the field haven't been able to make up for whatever inconsistencies the bowlers have endured.
Well, the misery continues. A flighty delivery by Zayda James. Williams was going over the top. It spooned off to the field at backward point and she spills a catch.
Not the best effort once again. It's Gilbert. Just needed to take a few steps back. Comfortable height as well. But he spilled it. A chance being given there for Williams. With 2 runs remaining for victory here, Jamaica certainly in cruise control.
He said cruise control overdrive. That brings the game to an end. Short, pulled over the head of Zayda James. He rushes to the fence. And the Nation, 23 not out. Jamaica, 65 without loss in the 4th over. they have completed victory here at Arnesville against the Windward Islands, who had a sort of game that is hard to describe, really. Batting, bowling, fielding, everything went basically downhill, and they would have to pull themselves together for this next tournament to come. That is the end of their T20 tournament, but Asnet, something needs to be done about the Windward's team and and the way that they are playing this cricket.
Not a lot of positives can be gathered from this performance today from the Windward Islands. Earlier on, they were inserted to bat, and like we've said on multiple occasions, just never had any sort of momentum into their innings, struggled for partnerships, struggled for any sort of impetus in terms of their batting efforts. Those big players that we spoke about, likes of Glasgow, James, Afi Fletcher, didn't come to the party today, and as a result, they only muster 62 runs in their 20 overs, which in the end proved to be quite inadequate. Given the start that we saw from the Windwards with the ball as well. Not the best of starts from Selena Ross. I trust that she'll be able to recover from this performance. But all in all, Jamaica, very dominating performance here in this fifth place playoff. And they will be looking back on this tournament and saying they will need something like this earlier on in the tournament in order to boost their confidence and maybe put in more consistent performances.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So the highlights from Jamaica. This one, the last delivery, punched down the ground. That brought the end of the game, and really convincing win here by Jamaica. But a really poor display of cricket here by the Windward Islands. Sad to see. They need to go back to the drawing board and look at the three aspects of cricket and see what they could do to play this 50 overs tournament. But that's the first game in today's encounter. And my co-commentator will give you the rest information in respect of today and the proceedings.
Well, game number 2, we're hoping for an improved spectacle by way of competitiveness. It's going to be Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago. So chicken curry versus curry chicken. Oh, Guyana, sorry. Thank you very much there for that correction. So Guyana versus Trinidad and Tobago. We're saying chicken curry versus curry chicken here in this finals day. Action here in the CG United Cricket West Indies Women's T20 Blaze. And of course, the grand final later on tonight under the lights. Leeward Islands versus Barbados, two of the more consistent teams in the tournament. So what we'll do now, we'll take a short break and we'll resume with live action in game number 2, slated for 2:30 p.m. Eastern Caribbean time.